I think the anticipation for round one is different for everyone. I guess it depends on who you are as a person and how you prepare for racing. But I think for me, because I've been in racing for so many years, and particularly most of my career has been in British Superbikes, it's almost like I've rehearsed all the variables. I've ridden for different teams on different brands of bike. I've had good years, I've had poor results, I've had good opening rounds, and had a disappointing finish to the championship. I've had disappointing opening rounds and won the championship. There's no real set pattern, so I don't really get too fixated on what the opening round is and becomes, where I think other people think, I've got to have an opening round strong, otherwise I won't have a good championship result at the end. And just with all the years I've been here, I know there's no set plan, there's no script. It's just you got to roll with it.
Oh, really?
Now we're here at the race weekend, and the kind of, let's say, the testing idea has been dropped, and we're focused on fine tuning. So we've kind of got the best package we created at the test, and by putting that all together, we gained like half a second. Evaluating all the information from the test, sort of like cobbling together a bike made of like a bunch of halves that were working at different times throughout the test, kind of all got put together like a bit of a Frankenstein's monster project. And the result is a half a second improved in the lap time. And then by that last session out there, then I got a little bit of a toe from Glenn. I bit the screen and just tried a bit harder, and we got another, say, 2/10. So there's, I feel like we're reaching a bit of a ceiling point for us at the moment. But the fact that we've just gone quicker kind of opens us up to the next step of the process. So unfortunately, I can't be like, yep, the next session out, we're going to make another couple of tenths. I don't know if that's even a realistic target. I think what it is now we've got new information, we're going quicker, we're putting the bike in new parameters, and we just need to now, evaluate what we can read on the computer, and read the suspension positions. And obviously, the tyre looks a lot better with the warmer temperature we have now. So we're got to kind of like use the information we have gathered. Just as short as today has been, that's actually valuable information for making the next step.
To see you looking happy and good on the bike as well. What a difference a year makes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old me. I think it's just, unfortunately, it's not like a running race or a cycling race where the emphasis is purely on the athlete. It really does take the whole team and the bike and suspension, and everything has to work in conjunction for me to be able to create a great result. I haven't got this magic power or ability that makes even a bad bike go quick when I'm on it. I mean, there may be people like Toprak and Marquez that are examples that'll make anything go fast. And I'm saying that when I've got a bike that I'm happy with and working for me, then I can do great things. But if it's not, I'm no better than the next person.
It's just nice to see happy faces in this garage.
We're all working really hard, and I'm glad to be able to return some good results to the hard work that they're putting in.
Josh, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Hey, we're looking forward to Spain.
Yeah, and he turned up with them last night and I just went, no.
Balls are banned.
Did you notice how grippy it was?
Yeah, it's good, yeah. You wanted some brownie points.
So this tool here has made an appearance in an earlier episode, but I didn't explain what it does, so I thought I should do that now. This is a ride height gauge, or a ride height tool, depends on how you want to describe it. So basically it fits into the chassis in a fixed position, which is always in the same place, regardless of spring preload or swing arm length. This will always be in the same position, so it's quite firm. So once it's in its place, then you have a fixed position that you can always measure from. That'll always be the same. So to use it correctly, you would have the bike on the footrest stands, so that the rear wheel is extended to its fully extended position, and then you can measure from a point directly above the axle, and you can measure the ride height of the bike, because this position will always be the same. So as you change the ride height on the shock and the swing arm becomes further down or further up, then you have a position to measure that from. So if you have a Honda CBR 1000 and you'd like one of these, they are available from Ben in our race team, and his details for purchasing one will be on the screen. So this is Ben, who you can buy the, if I can get it out, you can buy the tool from, and I'm Wurzel Gummidge. There are other methods to measure your sag, your ride height, and you could just go off of your swing arm onto your seat unit, but like they're a bit kind of not fixed position. So ride height's a little bit more specific than close enough. It needs to be exact. So if you've got the tool, it actually is really quite efficient in measuring your ride height. There you go. You're welcome. Cheers, bud. So yeah, this is the first garage tour. Welcome. So in British Superbikes, there are 2,000cc categories. There's the super stock class, which is the stock part gives it away. It's fairly standard. The bikes are very much more closer to what you would buy from the dealership. There's a few parts you can change to make them more racy, like we changed the bodywork, brake pads, tyres, few basic things to make it track ready. But more or less, it's very much in line with the bike you buy from the dealership. The other 1,000cc category is Superbike, which we're in, and that means that we can change heaps of stuff. So it's probably easier to say what we keep as opposed to what we change. But yeah, so the engine and chassis is the same as standard. You can't modify those. But everything else around that is changed. You know, radiator, triple clamps, forks, wheels, brakes, brake calipers, exhaust system, swing arm, subframe, fuel tank. Yeah, it doesn't end. Everything is changed. You've learned something new or refreshed some stuff you already knew. And yeah, we'll see you at the chat show a bit later on. Just like to talk to you a bit about how the weekend's been going. We've rocked on into round one and persevered and tried to improve the bike a little bit more through the narrow window of opportunity for change that we have. Because why it feels narrow to us is because more because of the tyre. In years gone by, we would have had, say, 9 rear tyres that you could use over the weekend. They've reduced that down to 6. So we've got 3 practice sessions, qualifying, and then 3 races. So we'll use a tyre in practice 1 and 2, and then use what's left from those 2 practices for practice 3 to save a tyre brand new for qualifying. And then we've got 1 tyre for each race, because obviously you want to start a race with a brand new tyre. So it sort of makes it really hard to experiment too much during practice. Fortunately, that's the same for everybody. But unfortunately, like I said, we're kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball to some of the other teams. So we feel like we're playing catch up. But I feel like we've done a pretty good job. Yesterday, Lee and I were 6th and 7th in the times. And then in qualifying there, we just finished. We were a little bit further back, but 9th and 10th. So I feel like we have actually improved the package a little bit, more focused on the race. But as we've seen there in qualifying, we have lost a little bit of the 1 lap performance that we're looking for. So that sort of brings you up to speed on where things are for me. We will have some questions in a moment, but as Lee's just arrived, I'll drop you in the deep end and pass over to Lee. Unfortunately, we don't have a mic today, so you have to just yell. But just let everyone know how basically the weekend's gone for you. So we've got our hands full now. We're going to go out into the race. I feel like I'm better a racer than I am a qualifier, so I feel like I've got a little bit of improvements I can make throughout the race. But it's going to be tough. We've never raced none of us have done a race on this tyre this year. Fortunately, the sun's out and the track temperature's up, because this recent tyre that we have, as I've mentioned, it doesn't like the change in temperature too much. It also, probably for the same reason, it doesn't like a cold track surface. When we've ridden on this tyre during testing and the surface has been cold in the morning, it really damages the tyre. It gets what we call cold tear. So when you look at it, rather than it being a nice, smooth, uniformed finish on the tyre after you've been riding on it, it's got these big, kind of tear patterns in the rubber surface, which is basically the rubber tearing away from the carcass because of the load we're putting through it. But with the temperature up like that, we shouldn't have any of that during the race. Fingers crossed. So hopefully, we can just put some good laps together and just be consistent through the race and get a good result. I just went and set about trying to get into a rhythm and get settled in and just ride as hard as I can, because obviously we've had a lot of time during the testing to try and make adjustments to the bike. But now we're here at the race weekend. There's a limited amount of time to actually make big changes to the bike and actually, get some positive results without making a mistake and maybe going the wrong way with the package. So I've kind of made the minimum changes this weekend and just tried to get as much out of myself as I can. Unfortunately, that hasn't been as good as I'd hoped. I thought we'd be a little bit closer. Throughout, the first race yesterday, we were, trying to move forward, and Lee and I think was 9th and 10th in the finishing position. So and then today's race is a bit shorter, a sprint race. So we did actually make a change this morning, and unfortunately for me, I didn't feel like it was an improvement. We have made changes of similar kind. It's just more or less like a spring and preload variation change, which isn't a big dramatic change, but in any case, it wasn't enough for me to get a better feeling or improve my race. And actually got quite a bad start. I got a good start yesterday and a not so good one in that opening race today. So that sort of put me back a few positions. And then during the race, because I didn't have a better package than I had before, I couldn't actually move anywhere further forward. So a little bit disappointing on my side.
is a race winner again. A 10th clearing of the Glen.
Welcome to the VIP Hospitality chat show for Lee and I. This is the big boss, although she's not super tall, but she is the big boss. No, we're not finished yet. There's more to come. There's more to come. We can go if you're bored. But I actually like people to know a bit more about what I'm feeling when I'm on the bike. It's not just a bunch of words and then we walk off. And I actually explained it to my wife, because often when we're in Australia we do some riding, and she'll be on the back as a passenger, so she can feel what's happening with the bike. And I said to her, you know, when we're on the tarmac and you're going through the corners and you feel like the bike's completely in touch with the road, and it feels like nice and comfortable, and you feel completely at ease. And she's like, yeah. I says, and then, you know, when we go onto the gravel off-road surfaces, and it just feels like the bike's always sort of like moving around and not really ever fully in touch with the ground, because the little gravelly rocks and stones never let the bike sort of really get grip with the track. It always feels a bit skatey. Well, that's exactly the feeling that I'm getting from the back of my bike. Even though we're on, you know, the slick tires and the perfect racetrack surface, the feeling it is for me is like when I'm on the brakes, I'm trying to get the bike stopped on the way in. It's like the rear tires, someone's dropping little stones and pebbles under it, and it just always feels like loose and never really perfectly in contact with the ground. And obviously that's a very unnerving feeling. It doesn't inspire confidence, and you can't just like really throw it on its edge because you're worried it's just going to let go and spit you off. And obviously if I feel bad enough coming in the final position in the race is 13th, you know, to have the course people pick the bike up out the gravel and bring it back in a van would feel even worse. So it's kind of like this situation where you want to get better for everybody and you want to improve, but you desperately don't want to crash and make a bad situation worse. So yeah, that was sort of just a little bit more insight into how it feels when I'm riding it. Obviously that's not exactly what's happening, but you get an idea of what the feeling is.